everyone, and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate support. Let's get into it. So, Sinners hit the theaters last weekend, and it has, to say the least, taken the world by storm. Great box office opening, the best reviews I've honestly seen of a movie this decade. It's been like the highest critically acclaimed movie to come out in the 2020s. And so the question is, does it live up to the hype? And absolutely it does. To put it blankly, it's truly a generational, flawless display of filmmaking. But I'm going to dive further into that. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. I'm also going to issue a massive spoiler, and I'm going to be going very in depth talking about this movie in its entirety. So if you haven't seen it, save this video, come back, but you've been fully warned. Without further ado, let's get into it. So I am not trying to be hyperbolic when I'm talking about this movie. I'm really trying not to be. This movie deeply and profoundly impacted me in a way that I haven't felt watching a movie for the first time in a really long time. And I've seen a lot of great films in my life, of course. But just as far as like how I personally was feeling in the movie, I don't think I've been like that emotionally impacted by a movie since I watched like Endgame for the first time. Like I'm not joking. I'm not joking. And you'd be asking like why? Like what led to that? Well, let's break it down. So I'm just gonna start rambling. So I think what I wasn't expecting from this movie. For context, I'm not like a big horror, not a big vampire guy. Like that's like horror is like the one genre I don't just love. I typically don't watch anything horror related. I had to like get my phone back out during the horror trailers because I was scared. I was a little scaredy cat. And the horror's good in this movie, but it's not like horrifically scary by any means. So if you're like nervous about you're gonna be too scared, don't be. There's definitely some like my god, excuse me. Um, there's some big like pow like jump scares, but nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. I think what this movie does more than being scary is being suspenseful. Oh my god, sorry. And the intensity of the scenes with the vampires in it is astronomical. Um, I think what leads off that intensity is Michael B. Jordan. First off, being able to play twins in a movie that are very different from each other. Stack is, he's a little more charismatic. He's more carefree. He's a little loosey goosey. And then Smoke is very serious, very concerned with taking care of his brother and taking care of shit, and getting things done. Um, so to be able to play both of them considerably well, with just such raging intensity. Michael B. Jordan, his command on screen is flawless. If there's one thing he can do, it's he can command a screen. Whether that's Killmonger or Creed or, and I'm blanking on the lawyer's name that he plays in Just Mercy, but he is just so intense. Whether that's rage or despair or joy, like he does intense emotions so well. It just exudes on the screen. It's just like you can just feel it's I mean, especially rage, especially his rage is so good. Like you can just feel the steam coming off of him, and he's so good in this movie. Again, shocker, right? That's why he's one of the best actors of our generation. But and everything he's in is so good. Um, but like they're like being able to play that and just like every single scene that either Stack or Smoke in is so intense and it's so good. But yeah, so the intensity was off the charts. So admittedly, I thought the beginning was a little slow, but I thought that was needed. because you need to develop these character relationships for all the gut wrenching stuff that happens in the last half of the movie. Whenever it really starts picking up, whenever Sammy um, does, whenever he's playing at the juke joint, and you can see all of the different past African and African American and Black influenced genres up until this point, along with what we see in the future with hip hop and rap. That part, that's when I really locked in. That's when everyone really locked in, and that's the turning point, pacing wise, because that's when it just shit goes off the walls. Honestly, at this point, but yeah, it was, so that pacing was great. The way that you're able to set up, like the way that the movie approaches setting up these dynamics, taking time with both brothers, taking time to establish their dynamic individually with Sammy, dedicating whole scenes to Stack and Mary and Smoke and Annie, seeing how they interact with Slim and Cornbread, and Bochin and his wife, and I feel bad I can't remember her name, but um, incredible. It just so that slow build is required to have such a barn burner, no pun intended, of a second half of a movie, and it was flawlessly executed. It was flawless. It was flawless. Pacing, writing, directing, acting, all of it flawless. Flawless. There's no notes. There's no notes. This is truly. I really love to see Ryan Coogler here get the flex. No franchise limitations, no Disney overheads, like, hey, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Not saying that they were meddling with his Black Panther movies, but, you know, you got to fit a certain mold, whenever you're directing a big franchise movie. A completely original idea, you can do whatever you want, you have full control, and then he just crushes it. Crushes it. All of his movies are make you think and have deep um themes to them, thematic themes. That's probably redundant, but in this movie, you talk about racism, guilt, religion, um, trauma, violence, war, gambling, drinking, all of this stuff. It dives into that and divulges in it, and I think, and I don't think I had really like put this together until I was watching this. Um, and maybe, and like I said, I'm not like the most educated on the vampire genre, and because all like movie monsters represent something in society, like zombies are an allegory for the working class in the world. Vampires, to me, at least maybe through the context of this movie, represents um kind of this view in the Christian faith that like your sins and not believing will damn you to live in this afterlife of constant pain and hell, and you can never go to heaven, you can never go to paradise. And that's what these vampires are. Like, they're internally doomed to live this horrible life of never being able to be in the sun, to never have their soul set free. So a lot of parallels to Christianity. And it really made me I'll be honest, I'll be vulnerable. Like, this movie really made me spiral, because I was like, oh my god, I need to really re-examine my relationship to religion, which I won't like dive fully into here, but it it definitely, like, I was like, oh my god, like, this is something I need to think about. It makes you think about whatever your relationship to religion may be. Honestly, and I think vampires are a great like avenue for that, as far as like exploring afterlife, eternal life, all that stuff. Um, so that's why I was so moved by it, because it really, really made me question that in a way that I haven't been really challenged in media, and I've seen some other discourse about that as well. Um, but it just tackles so many themes. I think it does a great job of portraying what life as someone who's black, or in the case of the Asian couple, Bo and his wife, what it would like to be in a Ku Klux Klan era, 1930s, after the Civil War, but before the Civil Rights Movement, what it would be like to live in the South and what issues and challenges you would face, without making them stereotypical or putting them in an archetype. It just they handle all of the racial themes that they talk about delicately, which of course like is not a shocker with Ryan Coogler. I mean, obviously, right? Like no one's surprised. The way my jaw stayed in the same place. I really like the way they handle the vampires. Like like the fact that like, and I maybe didn't understand this completely, but like the fact that they had to be invited in, like you have to invite sin into your life, to overcome, to fall into temptation. Really leading into my Christian upbringing right now, but like that was really cool, like because like they're the manifestation of their sins. They have to allow that to come into their life, and it bites them, bite bites them in the butt. Right? That's genius. That's so how the errors of our ways only come from our ways and our actions, and how that's manifested in punishing us for that. And not even just the religious lens, just in life. It's incredible. That's so smart. I actually just put that together. That's ingenious. That's such a cool way to portray talking about the error of your ways and the consequences of that. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But like, and of course they lean into time old true vampire tropes, garlic, silver, holy water, all that. That was great. That was great. Um Remick, the main little Irish guy, so good. Loved him. Loved horrifying. And he literally um was terrorizing everyone, but incredibly written. Just bad to the bone. Just straight up bad to the bone. Um, it was, yeah, they were great. They were great. Like the effect, like what I found super interesting actually was how like they're nice, how they're like super nice and trying to like lure you in. Right? Like that's smart because they have to be led in. Once again, presenting sins, the error of your ways, and all that. I'm not gonna rehash that, but um, like I thought that was freaky as hell, and that added to the suspense and to the drama. And when they did snap, when they did bite, oh god, so good, so good, so good. And like the red eyes, kind of the glossy eye look. Honestly, I thought was a little scarier. And I love just how like raw and like messed up like all they were as vampires. Like cornbread, like his face never like it doesn't like regenerate back. You know, they just were raw and freaky and nasty, and it was so good. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. The music in this, which I did not really expect there to any be. I mean, I knew there was gonna be like a little bit, but not really be a focus of it. The music's great. Sammy's incredible voice. Like everyone that sings performs is really great. The little Irish jig, I was like, yeah, they the bad guys, but this is a bop low key. So the music was great. Uh, just all of it. The movie is beautiful. I went and saw it on like a big IMAX screen, but the movie shot in IMAX and it's just gorgeous. Every shot is perfect. What was really badass, what was really cool is when they switched the aspect ratio when the vampires like actually come in. I was like, oh, well, like I sat up in my seat. I was like, oh, we're locked in right now. Like this is going down. Heartbreak. Let's talk about the scene more. Absolutely heartbreaking whenever he has to kill Annie. But he did it. But he did it. He got more guts than Star-Lord for not killing Gamora on Nowhere, which I don't blame him for that. We can blame him for some other stuff, but um but no, a heartbreaking scene. The action, the choreography of that was really great. Yeah, no, that scene was so cool. I was so locked in. I was like, oh my god. I had to sit up. I really had to sit up. Um, yeah, that was great. That was great. Another scene I really want to talk about and I really want to highlight is the post credit scene in the bar in 1992. What an ingenious way to use a post credit scene. I saw so many people stay um like get up once the credits started rolling, which was fair. Like I didn't expect this movie to have a post credit scene, but I was too stunned to move, so then I sat there and watched it. I had no idea. I had no idea this was coming, by the way. But that scene, whenever Sammy puts together that it's um Mary and Stack, oh, chills. Chills. I was horrified. I was horrified. And then when they're talking about, oh, this was so good. This was so good. Whenever he was like, that was the best day I've ever had until the sun went down. And then their lives are forever changed when the sun went down because that was Sammy's last best day ever. And then they haven't seen the sun since. So the sun setting symbolizes the ending of what they know to be their lives to be. Oh God! And you people want to say maybe the curtains are just blue? No, no. Media literacy, folks, is important. That's a whole nother discussion. Anyways, chilling. I had goosebumps that entire scene. That was absolutely incredible. Just flawless, flawless. So good, so good. There's just nothing this movie does wrong. Every character is engaging and is super well written. The music's great, the acting's great, the directing's great, the cinematography, the themes that they tackle, the weaving of the story, and the fact that this story only takes place over a day, but encompasses as far as what we know about these characters over such a long period of time. So well done. Incredible, incredible work. Just absolutely just stunning, just stunning. And when I say this is truly like a generational piece of filmmaking, I really mean that. I really mean that. So overall, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, and I'm gonna advise you to make sure to sink your teeth into this one. Thank you guys for watching along. I don't really know how long that was between my water break and me just rambling about whatever. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you guys check out the link content above, and have a great day. Thanks.